If you're hurt, injured, don't waste time. Gary Johnson drives for every dime.
Welcome to Simply the Law of Life, a program created by attorney Gary C. Johnson. Simply the Law of Life provides free legal advice and encourages happiness and quality of life. Now, here's Simply the Law of Life with Gary C. Johnson and Keith Casebolt.
Hello, everyone. Welcome into Simply the Law of Life. I'm Keith Casebolt, and my dear friend is across from me, Gary C. Johnson.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful to be alive, my friend.
Boy, we've had a little bit of everything. Some snow, some sunshine. I mean, you know, I thought about you over the weekend because your thing is always could be good, could be bad.
Time will tell.
Well, last Friday, we had like 68 degrees of sunshine. And then 24 hours later, we had about 8 or 9 inches of snow in eastern Kentucky. And I thought, that's kind of like life. That's what Gary talks about.
And both were wonderful.
Yeah. But completely different ends. What a change.
Right. I was getting ready to come to do this program, and my eye spotted a book on the bookshelf. And so I just pulled it down and let it roll open to see what we could talk about today. And I come up with, it's one of the John C. Maxwell books. And this was the first thing it turned to. So I'm going to share it with you folks. And it says, compliment people in front of other people. And then he says, admonish thy friends in secret. Praise them openly.
Boy, that's good advice, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to brag on somebody, do it in front of a crowd. But if you have to correct them, do it in private.
And then he says one of the secrets to success is finding people with great potential. And how do you look for those people? He calls them searching for eagles.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got a list here of 10 things you need to look for if you're going to find an eagle. And maybe some of you folks are eagles out there right now and don't even know it.
Oddly enough, I saw 2 bald eagles this weekend flying over the cut-through right here in downtown Pikeville.
He always changes the subject, you know that.
Well, you just mentioned the eagles. So
okay.
We're going to soar like the eagles. I like it.
Okay. Number 1, eagles make things happen. The eagles he's talking about,
Mm-hmm.
people that are going to accomplish stuff. Eagles see and seize opportunities. Eagles influence the opinions and actions of others. That's eagles.
Boy, that's a strong trait.
Eagles add a tremendous value to you and what you're doing. Eagles draw the winners to them. Eagles equip other eagles to lead. Eagles provide ideas that help the organization thrive. Eagles possess an uncommonly great attitude.
Mm.
Okay. How many times have we talked about attitude? Eagles live up to their commitments and responsibilities, always. Eagles show fierce loyalty to the organization and the leaders. If you find someone that has these qualities, then you found an eagle.
You found somebody that you want to hang on to.
That you want to hang on to because they will help you flourish.
And you know, the whole time you're reading that list, the one thing that I got out of that, there was not a lot of me or I involved in the eagle. The eagle was bringing up everyone around them.
Eagles make things happen, right?
For themselves and everyone else.
He got a lot of good stuff in this book, John C. Maxwell's book. He talks about people and things, and so I'm going to tell you what share with you what he says here, things to forget about. Number 1, a person's failures in the past and focus on his or her potential for the future.
We've talked about this on the program before, that people have sat around for 20 years talking about something that's gone wrong, and they can't let go of it. They can't move on from it.
And he's talking about even in other people's lives. Forget about their failures.
So give them a
and
second
focus
chance.
on his or her potential for the future.
Well, that's a great point, because we have a tendency to label people in our lives, don't we?
Right.
I mean, even from high school, someone will say, "Oh, so-and-so, I know how he was." Well, that was 40 years ago. They've changed.
They're not the same person, I guarantee you.
Nowhere near it.
Then he says, ask yourself, what is special, unique, and wonderful about this person? How can I show it to others? Because there's always something special or wonderful about a person. Always.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that. You once told me if you had a round table and you went around and had someone point out the gifts or the special traits that an individual has, they would be astonished to hear that.
The person would be astonished to hear that they had those talents.
It would be a surprise to them that other people see such great work and creativity in them.
Everybody who's listening to this program right now has a talent, a very unique talent.
Now, that's a great point, because there's probably one person that said, not me. I don't possess those skills. And I guarantee you, if you got 5 or 6 of their friends together, they could point out all kinds of things that this individual can do that no one else can.
I was listening to a person talk about their children the other day,
Mm-hmm.
2 boys. And he was talking about all the talent that one of them had. A just extremely talented child. From what he could see about playing the guitar or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
And the other one, he said, didn't have any talents. And you know what I said to myself?
Not true.
Nope. I said, I guarantee you that the one that will be the most successful will be the one that he has now labeled as the one that doesn't have a talent.
Now, Gary, did this individual do that because the one child that he thought had talent may have been based on his likes, his wants, or his talents?
Well, not that. The kid was talented. No question about it.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is there is a hidden tremendous talent
That he's not seeing in the other child.
That he's not seeing in the other one.
Yeah.
That will at some point come out.
Well, you and I both have 2 sons. You have 2 sons. I have 2 sons. Both of my sons possess different talents and ability, completely opposite of each other. Oddly enough, the talents they have are completely opposite of anything I can do.
I believe that.
Oh, 100%.
So I was just going to pass that on. So if you're thinking that your child doesn't have talent, you're wrong.
You're just not looking.
You're just not looking for it, or he's not shown it to you yet,
Mm-hmm.
or she.
It's
Now,
there.
they have it. Okay. The next one, he says, just do it by backing up your high opinion of a person with action that reinforces that opinion.
Just do it. When all else fails, move forward.
Go forward. And then he said, remember, many people will always go much farther than they ever thought they could.
Isn't that the truth?
Now, that is an absolute fact. And they generally do it because someone believed that they could and told them so.
I mean, to dream.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go back to when we were kids. At what point in time did your dreams become bigger, just for you? That you said, wait a minute, I want more than what I see around me. What age were you?
I was probably around 10 years old when I looked around and said, nah, this isn't really the way I want to live.
So at 10, you made a decision to say it would be easy just to follow in the footsteps and to blend in, but you decided at 10, I'd like to try to do more or have more or be more.
I didn't know what more was.
More could have been just a little bit, right?
You understand that?
More could have been just about that much.
Right.
I
had never been exposed to more.
I'm with you, brother. I understand. Instead of one slice of bread, it meant two. I understand.
But I just knew that I didn't want to live that life.
Did you even at that point in time dream of where your life is at this present time? Was there any way to dream of that?
No, the most I could have hoped to aspire for and did at that time was maybe to become a school teacher, because that was the people that you could look up to and admire.
So you set out on a track to do more, and as you started doing more and achieving more, then your dreams continued to start changing?
Well, it's not necessarily dreams. It's maybe this would be a good time to share this with people on maybe why I ended up being a lawyer instead of a teacher.
Because that was not your intent when you went to school.
No, I was going. In fact, I already had a job as a math teacher in Rockcastle County, Kentucky, at the end of my junior year. But I would always go to Michigan in the summers and work in the factories while I was in college. And the summer, my junior year at Berea College, that summer, I was able to save up enough money while I was working up there to buy me a 1962 Ford Falcon.
A Ford Falcon.
The old Ford Falcon.
All right.
Love that car. Didn't have it long, but I loved it. Okay. And I was coming home from Michigan. Well, actually, I'd come to Pike County first, then I went back to Berea College. And I was on that little windy road down, because you didn't have the Mountain Parkway and all that stuff back then.
No four lanes, no Mountain Parkway. Yeah, we're talking about curve after curve after curve.
So I came around a curve. It was raining, and the car in front of me had wrecked. So I actually slowed down, hit my brakes, and started slowing down. And suddenly my Falcon was up in the air over into the ditch, because a truckload of turkeys rear-ended my Falcon and destroyed it.
You can't make that up.
No, there was turkeys everywhere.
Now, it wasn't a truck with wild turkey. It was a truck with actual turkeys.
Yeah,
Okay.
real turkeys,
Real
live
turkeys.
live turkeys, not the frozen one. I mean, this is old. This is like in 68, maybe,
Yeah.
1968. And naturally, my wonderful Falcon was gone that I had worked so hard that summer to earn.
That you'd saved your money and you were so proud of. Now the car's gone.
The next time I came to Pikeville, I brought my police report. And, I was actually hurting pretty bad in my neck because I took a real lick at that point. And went to wandered into an office of J.A. Runyon in Pikeville. And J.A. Runyon said, "Son, I'm going to take care of this for you." Mm-hmm. And he did, and I came out and got my mighty fine Falcon paid for.
That was destroyed.
With a little extra, actually. And that's when I looked around and said, I want to do what he says. I'm going to go be a lawyer.
So your path in life changed all because of a curvy, wet road and a truck that couldn't hit its brakes or didn't hit its brakes, rear-ended you, and forced you into an attorney's office.
Well, they say the Lord works in strange and mysterious ways. And, looking back on it, there was no question I was meant to be a lawyer. That was my talent. I just didn't know it.
You had never uncovered what it was that your calling was in life.
I mean, I couldn't play sports or anything. I couldn't play a musical instrument. But I took to the law, and I loved it, and I was meant. My talent was to be a lawyer.
Gary, no wonder that you talk with a reverence for life the way you do. Because on this day that you got up and got in the vehicle, you had no idea where your life was going. You were just heading home on a winding road, not knowing that trip would alter your entire life, your career, and help thousands and thousands of people. I mean, looking back over all the people that you've been able to help through and by your law firm, none of that would have happened.
Had that turkey truck not destroyed my 1962 Falcon.
So you would have gone on and gone through life without really, truly discovering what it was that you were meant to do.
Yeah.
And that's, in you doing this program, you're saying there's people out there right now that are like
There are some
you.
of my friends that probably haven't discovered what they were meant to do. And I hope you do, my folks. I really do, because the only way you can have a fulfilled life, I'm convinced now, is if you truly discover what you were put here on this earth for.
You know, it'd been a lot easier if there had been a mentor or somebody just to say, Gary, I see this talent in you and you're going to make a great lawyer. It'd been easier than having to be run over by a truck full of turkeys.
It worked, though.
It got your attention. Yeah. So it doesn't matter how you get there. The point is that you get there, right?
And speaking of law a little bit, since we've got off on that subject, I got to thinking that maybe when a lawsuit is filed, it's filed against the individual that caused the harm or the corporation that caused the harm.
Right.
That's who the defendant is. But in reality, the defendant is an insurance company, always.
Not the individual.
Not the individual. The real defendant, the one that hires the lawyer, that prosecutes the case, that defends it, is that person or that corporation's insurance.
Since I have been doing this program with you, I have met good people who were horribly injured that have said, I don't want to sue those people. They're good people in the community. And I've tried to tell them, you're not suing the people, you're suing the insurance company. I have also met other good people who have been injured that have said, well, the Bible says not to sue your neighbor, and I just don't want to do that.
The Bible don't say anything about insurance companies.
No, they do not. That was going to be my point. But there have been people that have been reluctant, and I would imagine the insurance companies know this, don't they?
Sure they do.
They know that you're going to be reluctant to sue the individual that did the harm.
Well, the insurance lobby is the reason we have to file the suit the way we do. Realistically, we should be able to just sue the insurance company, right? Since they're the ones that's going to be paying.
Well, absolutely. Yeah, but it doesn't work that way.
Nope, you can't even mention the word insurance in a trial. If you do, it's a mistrial.
So let's just think about that. Let's take an analogy here. My brother works for a trucking company. He drives a big truck. If my brother were to accidentally hit me, I wouldn't be suing the insurance company. I would be suing my brother and the trucking company that he works for.
Right.
Which people would come back and say, look, that is horrible.
He sued his own brother.
He sued his own brother.
Yeah.
How low is that a guy would sue his own brother and cost him his job? But the insurance company is forcing that. Now, if I were suing the insurance company, no one would feel bad about that, including my brother, correct?
Right.
Pretty smart little deal that they did.
Well, it's just, I tell young lawyers when I hire them, I said, look, don't worry too much about the advice you give. You may be right.
That's pretty good.
Because the law changes that often. It's just...
That's pretty good.
It's the truth.
Yeah.
And then I say to them, just remember, ask yourself, if you're not sure what the law is, ask yourself, what should the law be?
What makes sense?
What should it be?
Mm-hmm.
And 99% of the time, that will be what it is.
Because it comes down to common sense?
Common sense.
But we do everything that can possibly be done to try to mix that up to make it look like other things.
You got the insurance companies with their lobbies or whatever, through the legislature, has said we shouldn't be identified because people would then just give people money because they knew it was insurance money. It may make sense, and they may be right.
It's the reason you pay the premium, isn't it?
But it's also which way is worse?
Mm-hmm.
Saying you got this little old lady here that run over somebody as the defendant. Now, what's a jury going to do there?
Bless her heart.
Bless her.
Yeah, bless
She's up there
her.
crying because she run over them, and it's just insurance money.
Yeah.
But the jury can't be told that.
Because all of the guilt and the blame and everything goes toward this person and makes them look like a bad person.
Yeah.
When it shouldn't.
But I don't know why I got off on that. It just popped in my head, which tells me there's somebody that needed to know it.
Well, I guarantee you there's a lot of people that didn't bring suit because they did not want to sue somebody in their community, not realizing that it was the insurance company and that it was made that way to prevent you from doing it.
You know, we've always said what a secret is, right? You know what a secret is.
Something that one guy can keep if the other two are dead?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's something you only tell one person at a time.
Yeah, there you go.
But he says if you have a real secret in this book, share it with someone.
You taught me something a long time ago I have a lot of fun with. When people come up to you and say, look, I swore I wouldn't tell anybody, but I'm just going to tell you. And I say, don't tell me because I'll tell everybody. And they go, you wouldn't tell if I told you. Yeah, I will because you just swore that you weren't going to tell anybody.
And he says that it boosts the self-esteem of the person that's hearing if it's a true secret that you have. That sharing a secret with someone is bound to boost their self-esteem because you have confided in them.
That they're so important that you will tell.
That they're important to you.
Mm-hmm.
And so he says find someone to let in on a secret today.
Just make it a good secret.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, don't tell them the bad stuff you did as a secret, okay?
Yeah,
that's not going to get you very far.
It's not in your best interest to tell them something that can and will be used against you.
And then he says, really ask yourself, whom can I benefit most by letting them in on some otherwise private information?
A lot of important questions to ask yourself.
Mm-hmm. And again, people, you're going to be successful, my friends. This is the year that you are truly going to be successful.
Well, I hope it's from a decision, Gary, that our friends make, or that a mentor or a friend has pointed out their talent, and it's not that they got ran over by a turkey truck.
And then, no joke.
I hope they get the easy way to doing it.
It wasn't any fun. In fact, it was actually pouring the rain.
Yeah. I would imagine, though, because of that path of your life, that you celebrate Thanksgiving
with turkey.
With turkey, yes, and you enjoy your Thanksgiving because that's what sets you on to the path that you're on.
And then he's talking this a little more in this book. He says, believe the best about people. You can't go wrong doing that.
I like that.
Try to see things from their perspective. That's Dale Carnegie, right?
Mm-hmm. Dale Carnegie book, you and I both agree, should be mandatory in every high school in the United States.
He says, always give other people the benefit of the doubt. And he said, remember the people in your life, their good days, not their bad ones.
You've pointed that out a lot, Gary, that you've got a friend or you've got someone in your life that has been valuable to you for a long time, and they screw up. They make a poor decision, and you discard them. And
you concentrate on that poor decision, and you forget about all those wonderful times and good things you had with that person.
They did 999 good things. They make one mistake, and you end the entire relationship because of one mistake.
Then he says, Martin Luther King said, forgiveness is not an occasional act, it's a permanent attitude. Now, that is a fact.
Boy, isn't that the truth? And if you ever go to the YMCA and walk, there is a sign that says, forgiveness is the greatest form of revenge.
How many times have we said on this program, you forgive for you, not them?
That's the
you
truth.
Get it off of your back.
You don't have to carry it around anymore.
And then he says, forget about justice Instead, focus on grace and forgiveness. Then he says, ask, how would I feel and what would I do if I were in that person's shoes? Okay?
We rarely ever do that.
And then here he goes on do it. Practice the golden rule by appreciating what others intend, not only what they do, just as you would like for them to do with you.
Gary, it almost seems like the whole topic of your program about finding the eagles and everything is that if you start seeing the ability and the goodness and the talent in all the people around you, you're going to find out they're going to start seeing it in you, and you're going to rise up to be successful.
This is all for you, everything we're saying. It's for your state of mind. And without the right state of mind, my friends are not going to be successful. They're not. And remember, this is the year all my friends are going to be successful.
I'm looking forward to it.
And he says it's important to mine the gold contained in other people.
You know, while you're reading that, I'm thinking about one of your attorneys that I had a conversation with, and I don't care to tell you, Dustin, he was talking about how brilliant of an attorney you are. And in return, you're the one that's talking about how brilliant he is and some of the work that he does. Everything that you're reading from the book is an example right from your own office.
Dustin is brilliant. I can't say that about me, but now Dustin Williams is brilliant. There's no question about it.
But he would. What I liked about it is he was so complimentary toward you, but you were seeing the talent in him. Finding an eagle, just what you said at the beginning of the program.
He talks about a mentoring moment, and he said, unclog your ears and listen. Number one, on listening, distractions, phone calls, TV, pagers, and things of that sort can make good listening nearly impossible. Get away from distractions if you're going to listen. Defensiveness. If you view complaints or criticism as a personal attack, you will become defensive. Once you begin to protect yourself, you will care little about what others think or how they feel, and you will definitely stop listening.
Yeah.
The next one is closed-mindedness. When you think you have all the answers, you close your mind. And when you close your mind, you close your ears. Now, that is absolute truth.
100%.
Projection. Automatically attributing your own thoughts and feelings to the others prevents you from perceiving how they feel and listening to what they say. How many times have we talked about assumptions? That's the next one.
Right.
When you jump to conclusions and make assumptions, you take away your incentive to listen, and you will not listen. You have already assumed the answer.
Great points, my friend.
Pride is the last one on listening. Thinking we have little to learn from others is perhaps the most deadly of distractions to listening. Being full of yourself leaves little room for input from others. In fact, there will be none because you won't allow it.
It's all about your success this year.
Big eye, little you, right?
Gary has laid it out, so be an eagle, think like an eagle, look for an eagle, and if you find a mentor, listen.
Absolutely.
With both ears. My friend, what a year to be successful.
This is it.
On behalf of Gary C. Johnson, I'm Keith Casebolt. Thank you so much for tuning in. We look forward to seeing you again next week, right here at this same time.
Thank you for listening to Simply the Law of Life, a program created by attorney Gary C. Johnson. Until next week, may you be safe, blessed, and happy.
If you're hurt, injured, don't waste time. Gary Johnson cries for every dime.